The report of the Commission of Investigation into Child Abuse in the Catholic Archdiocese of Dublin details a litany of cases of abuse that were covered up by the Archdiocese and other church authorities. The report finds the Archdiocese was preoccupied with the maintenance of secrecy, the avoidance of scandal, the protection of the reputation of the Church and the preservation of its assets. It says that all other considerations, including the welfare of children and justice for victims, were subordinated to these priorities. Cardinal Sean Brady said he was shocked and shamed by the report. The Minister for Justice, Dermot Ahern, spoke of his revulsion at the findings.
3 years in the making, 700 pages long, the Commission's report is a shocking litany of abuse and failures. It examines the Dublin Archdiocese's handling of complaints of abuse made by 320 children against a sample of 46 priests between 1975 and 2004, 11 of whom have been convicted. But in total it received allegations about 183 priests. One of the priests admitted sexually abusing over 100 children. Another admitted abusing on a fortnightly basis over 25 years. The report is highly critical of the Archdiocese, saying for decades its preoccupations were secrecy and the Church's reputation. It says the Archdiocese didn't implement canon law and did its best to avoid applying the laws of the state. There was little or no concern for the welfare of the abused child or for the welfare of other children who might come into contact with the priest. There was a don't ask, don't tell attitude. Complainants were often met with denial, arrogance and cover-up, and with incompetence and incomprehension in some cases. It concludes there's no doubt abuse was covered up by the Archdiocese and other church authorities. The bishops involved in investigating and dealing with complaints about abuse are also heavily criticised. A number didn't act on complaints of abuse in their areas and appointed priests without any reference to clouds hanging over them. It also says a number dealt particularly badly with complaints. Now retired, Bishop Dermot O'Mahony failed to tell his superior about a number of complaints and allowed a psychiatric report on Father Ivan Payne to be relied upon, even though it was clearly inaccurate. It says now deceased Bishop James Kavanagh failed to deal properly with a priest who had pleaded guilty to abuse and also tried to influence the Garda handling of criminal complaints. And it says the failure of Bishop Donal Murray, now Bishop of Limerick, to investigate a particular allegation was inexcusable. According to the Commission, all former archbishops also handled abuse complaints badly, with not one reporting allegations to Gardaí from the 1960s to 1990s. Archbishop John Charles McQuaid's dealings with one priest in 1960 were aimed at avoiding scandal and showed no concern for the welfare of children. Archbishop Dermot Ryan failed to properly investigate complaints against 6 priests and ignored advice from a psychiatrist in relation to another who was later convicted. Archbishop Kevin McNamara restored duties to a priest after he pleaded guilty to abusing in 1983 and promoted another serial abuser. And it says it took Archbishop Desmond Connell some time to realise that abuse couldn't be dealt with by keeping it secret and protecting priests from normal civil processes. It also claims Archbishop Connell's strategies in refusing to admit liability often added to the hurt and grief of many complainants. This afternoon, the government apologised for inaction.
Successive governments failed in their responsibilities as legislators to put in place a comprehensive child protection legislative framework. Where there still remains a gap in child welfare and protection legislation, the government will take the necessary steps to put the appropriate legislation in place.
But although